best time ever, but I had the best time. It was the best day that I could have had, and all that we've been through and all that I've been through this year, this was exactly how I could have envisioned going out. Woo!
Indian Wells, 70.3. Beautiful course, but it ate my lunch.
The day went to plan. Of course, I would have loved to have been faster on that run, but you know, I'm still coming back. The swim, all I heard all week, all the last 2-3 weeks, just from message boards and athletes, was how cold the swim was gonna be and how everybody was dreading the swim, and I never put any energy into this swim being cold.
You know, all the talk was about how cold the water was and, you know, gotta have your neoprene cap and your booties. Didn't have either of those, but, you know, getting into the water, I actually didn't think it was that bad.
There was some contact. It was a little more of a physical swim than I've had in a long time, but, you know, I kind of stayed on course to the buoys and picked them off one by one, and it didn't take long. I did have a little trouble getting out of the water, probably a little bit of the cold, and then the back tightened up a little bit, so nice volunteer helped me out of the water. Don't judge me by my transitions. I knew that I needed to kind of take a little time to compose myself, needed to take some time to dry myself off, because I knew if I got cold on the bike, it was really going to be a miserable situation. So it was not a thing of beauty. I fumbled around. Of course, cold kind of makes you lose a little bit of cognitive function, so I kind of bobbled a few things a little bit.
I was really pretty positive that I thought this would be my sub 40 swim. But I think with the water just being so cold, it did slow me down a little bit. So I didn't hit it, but I'm not disappointed. I do know that my swim fitness has come along, so I didn't let that get me down. Coming out of the water, grabbed my bag. You know, I just went from horizontal to vertical, and you know, my head is cold. So I may have stumbled around a little bit, trying to figure out my bag, taking my wetsuit off and getting everything back into my bag, but made it through. No problems once getting to my bike, getting my shoes on, unracked my bike, and I started running out to the mountain line.
One thing that did catch me off guard a little bit, there was a steep uphill right out of transition. I thought we had a little bit before we hit that uphill, so shame on me for not being in the proper gearing to get up that hill. So I just really had to just grind up. I was like, oh my gosh, if I don't make it up this hill, I'm gonna be so embarrassed. But I found some grit within me, wrong gear all. Got up that hill.
When I got to the mountain line, I heard someone say, keep going, keep going. So I was like, all right, well, maybe it's better if I mount a little bit later on. And that turned out to not be wise, as I had ended up at the bottom of a hill and I could not get clipped in to save my life without falling over. So it took a little bit getting up that first hill, but I managed and I eventually made it and onto the bike. You know, I did wipe myself dry with a towel, but I was still pretty cold. I don't know. These days, I just get cold and I stay cold lately, so it probably wasn't until the second aid station where I finally felt okay.
You know, the road conditions weren't the greatest in a handful of spots, but they weren't terrible. There were a few terrible spots, but overall, not bad. The best experience was racing on a racetrack.
Got to a racetrack, you know, I knew there was a little squiggly bit on the course, but honestly, I didn't even realize it was a racetrack. So when I saw that approach, I was like, oh, hell yeah, it's on. So took the corners around the track. It was so fun, you know, just kind of letting it rip. The pavement on the racetrack was so smooth. It was great, because leading up to that point, the roads weren't so good. It was a little rattle.
Man, that smooth pavement and just kind of just letting your inner kid go. Like, I felt like I was a kid again, riding my bike, you know, just as fast as I can go, taking those corners, and I couldn't stop smiling the entire way.
About 10 miles left in the bike, you know, I think I started to bonk a little bit. I wasn't able to hold that power that I was for the mid portion, and so I could see my MP power dropping just a point by point. And I was like, damn, but you know what? I still had a solid, good middle portion of my bike that I feel really good about.
So I told myself, don't let up. Just do everything you can to get that sub 3, and you know that's going to be a huge win on the bike, especially where I've been, and especially having to build back up the power in the legs. And as far as the performance is concerned, my power targets, I was within 2 watts of where I was hoping to be, so I call that a big win, and sub 3. So I came off the bike, and you know I couldn't have complained at all with how my swim and bike went.
Not gonna lie, this shit's hard. Unfortunately, my run didn't go to plan, but you know, I stayed positive, still had a great time out here with the camaraderie of the triathlon community, with our great new friends that we had out here racing. It just made it a great day, no matter what my outcome was.
The run was going to be the toughest part of the day for me, no matter what, just because my run fitness is still lagging a little bit, and I don't have the fluidity with my lower back kind of being a little tight. So I wanted to make sure that I was set out for success on the run. Once I got out on the run, man, felt like a dang rock star. There were people I didn't know, never seen before, calling out Team Saunders, getting high fives. It was a wonderful feeling. I just found a pace pretty early, not breaking any speed records, but I think I was like running just around 11-minute miles to begin with, so I was happy with that. But it's a good day so far.
This is good.
Woo! Yeah! Woo! Good day so far.
Good day. Keep it up.
Good day so far.
Keep it up.
For my condition, I was hoping for 220. And then I realized it was probably going to be closer to 230, so I accepted that, just knowing that it was still going to be a really good time. It was definitely going to beat my Augusta time and prove that who I was in Augusta is not who I am as a triathlete. And I started my second loop. I'm coming off that grassy path, heading back on that long paved trail, very early part of the second loop. And there's Sam Long giving out hand slaps, and so I got a hand slap and a yo-yo-yo from Sam Long, and you know, how can that not fuel you for the rest of your run? That was, again, the best I could ask for, the best I could hope for.
I had more rollers than I was expecting, and I just couldn't keep it together. I kept a positive mindset the whole time. That wasn't the issue, but my body just bombed. I don't even think I made it to mile 5 before my legs were cramping, gut issues, couldn't decide what was going on.
Coming across that finish line and seeing Caitlin there, man, she was in my thoughts all day long. We crossed paths a few times, and all I could hope was that she was having a good day out there as well. I know she was struggling with being cold. The girl has no body fat, so we got to figure something out with that, but super dang proud of her. It's been a long, enduring season, and we've been through a lot of work, and we've been through a lot of ups and downs together.
Season is over now. Gonna cheer in the rest of the team. Gonna get some good R&R and start our preseason and get ready for the next. Chattanooga 70.3, May, we'll be there stronger than ever.